I noticed that we, ambitious young men, we develop this habit of just trying to spend every single second productively. Because here is our mindset. We want to be productive, we want to be hardworking, and we want to improve our lives. So then what we'll do is, like, no matter what we're doing, where are we going, who are we currently with, every single moment we'll try to make it productive. But I think that we took it way too far and that our vision of productiveness is kind of stupid. Because then you find yourself, instead of going for a walk, you go for a walk and you're listening to a podcast. Because you think that just going for a walk by itself is not productive enough. Or we will be going by bus and we will start going through the messages instead of like just sitting there for 15 or 30 minutes. Even when working out in the gym, we'll still have our phone taken out and we'll still like go through the notifications and go on like some random apps. What we don't realize is all of those things, they sap like 80% of our energy and the drive. Because instead of actually doing the thing, or instead of like just taking a moment to relax and do nothing in that time, we just try to do something productive every single second. We try to spend productively every single moment, and then we wonder why we are so tired, even though we didn't really do that much during the day. We learn to keep ourselves busy all day because it's either listening to a podcast, watching some YouTube videos, actually doing some productive things, but then what we do in the meantime, we have like this urge to do something because doing nothing feels kind of irritable and weird. So you will have all those situations during the day where you can fill up some free time. Why can't you just do nothing in that time? Okay, doing something productive like reading a book, taking a nap, studying something is great. But why can't we do just nothing? We are so overstimulated because we try to do something all the time that if we just try to do nothing for like 15 minutes, it just feels so weird, right? And we feel like we need to do something. Like I need to take out my phone. I need to like text my friends or check emails or like listen to a podcast or like get some updates about the situation in the world. Just try to do nothing and see how it feels. If you go to a doctor and you're waiting in the line, just keep your phone in the backpack and sit there for 10 minutes, maybe talk with the old lady or do nothing. Just sit there, do nothing and see how it feels. Because I guarantee that within a few minutes you will feel like you need to do something because it just feels so weird to be sitting and doing nothing. And well, the thing is, there is nothing wrong with doing nothing, right? We don't want to be lazy, we don't want to be unproductive, we don't want to be doing nothing all day, of course. But if you have a 30-minute commute, how much can you actually achieve during that time? Okay, sometimes you will like catch up with the text messages, you will reply to emails, you will reply to friends, you will plan the things ahead. But most of the time, it will take you like 5 minutes at most. And then once you have your phone in your hand, of course you will go on Instagram and you will start scrolling. Just try to keep your phone in the jacket or in the backpack. It's not that hard. It is at first, of course, but you're a human being. It's not normal for you to be online and be on the phone all the time. You can literally just sit there in the bus and do nothing for those 30 minutes. Or take a nap or read a book, anything. But please, like, we need to relearn those habits, or like, we need to relearn our behavior in all those different situations. We need to start doing things again the way they were always supposed to be done. Because now we are eating a meal and we're not just eating a meal. Because we are watching a TV series, watching YouTube videos, we are scrolling on our phone. Right? We go to the gym instead of just working out. Like working out by itself is productive. But we feel like we need to do something in the rest breaks and we cannot waste any second, right? So you will take out your phone and you will actually waste the time instead of being productive. You spend all day like this, and then in the evening you feel completely out of energy. Even though you didn't really do that much in the day. Like you went to the university, you went to the gym, maybe you actually did some work, but overall it wasn't that much. yet you feel like you've been doing something all day. I really want you to realize that this is what saps like 80% of your energy and of your drive. You will not feel extra motivated, you will not feel like extra disciplined or anything if you try to live every second like that, because you're just overproductive. It's not giving you any good, right? So the first step is actually fill up that free time with some good habits. Because if in your free time you're scrolling, you're playing mobile games or anything, yeah, then take a book with you, read a Bible, maybe like plan the day ahead. But once you fill up the free time with the good habits, then from time to time you also want to just be doing nothing. You learn to do nothing, and you just take a moment to relax. You take a moment so like your brain and your thoughts can kind of slow down and chill out a little bit. And then after 15 minutes, you're ready to go back to life, right? You're ready to go and actually do the productive things. And another thing is, it's not just about productiveness and your energy levels. Have you ever wondered why the time flies by so quickly? Of course, we already know that. Like once you get older, like one day as a 30-year-old is like less valuable than one day as a 5-year-old, right? We know this, but sometimes maybe the day-to-day life doesn't feel so quick by itself. But if you look back at the last 5 years, you feel like it was yesterday. It's pretty interesting, and I think that the big cause of that is because you try to do something all the time, you do not even get a second to like sit by yourself with your own thoughts, do nothing, relax a little bit. Like we try to do something all day, and then like that's why the time flies by so quickly. Instead of doing nothing, feeling maybe kind of bored, but actually slowing down the time, we do something all the time, right? Because then the 15 minutes, whether you scroll or whether you do nothing, feels completely different, right? If you're scrolling, then it feels like you go in and you go out, done. And maybe you're like, okay, so it kind of feels like those 15 minutes were productive and I didn't waste that time. Yeah, but that's why then the life feels like it just goes too quickly. But if you, in those 15 minutes, do just nothing and you feel kind of boring and you feel like you're going for an hour, it's actually much healthier for you because you're not destroying your mental health through scrolling and doing some bullshit, but then also you let your thoughts and your brain slow down, feel actually the moment, be a little bit bored, and then once you go get back into the, let's say, normal life, it's much better to actually then be focused, then be productive, then do those good things. And like one more thing, because it gets even deeper. If you lost some family members, you feel like they passed away 2 or 3 years ago, and then you realize that it was 7, 8 years ago. You know, maybe you had like grandparents or great grandparents alive when you were also alive, but then they passed away. You felt like it was just a few years ago, and then you look back at the time and you actually realize that so much time passed by. Sometimes we kind of, when someone wasn't like really close with you, and he was like your aunt or your uncle from a more distant family, and sometimes you catch yourself thinking about him and you realize that he's actually not on this world, right? He still kind of lives in your brain and in your thoughts, but you actually never took time to like to process that thing because you've been doing something all the time. So it's a serious topic and you're not gonna fix it just like this. I of course find myself just times and times again doing some bullshit, trying to be productive, right? But if you can just learn yourself to do nothing and then you actually start doing nothing. I know it sounds weird, but just start doing nothing. Maybe set yourself some reminders. For example, I use a Google Calendar, and I put there a 30-minute event that says do nothing for 30 minutes. And okay, I will be honest, for the past few days I didn't find time to do nothing, even though it sounds kind of weird. But you know what I try to do is when I go by bus, I just sit there for like 10 minutes and I get out and I go to home or go to the university. Just try to kind of get rid of the habit and also quiet down the voice in your head that tells you that you need to be productive, you need to be doing something all the time, because you don't. It's not you being productive, it's you being overproductive, which causes you to, instead of doing productive things and like moving your life forward, you just lose so much energy and drive that, again, then you're in the evening feeling like out of energy, feeling empty, even though you felt like you've been doing something all day. It's not worth it. So it's hard at first, but it will make you preserve so much energy and so much drive that it's just worth trying, you know? So that's it from me today. I hope you take this lesson seriously and you try to start doing nothing in the meantime. And well, that's it from me today. Thanks for watching. Regain your male drive and go live your life. See you next time.